Welcome back to Crime Time Podcast, and y'all know the saying, right? Only in Florida, or Florida man, right? It's always some of the zaniest, most craziest ish ever going on down there in Florida. And we have a story today that is just bonkers. I truly think that this is a first.
Two people are dead after a shooting on a Miami-Dade transit bus. And investigators say it was the driver who shot and killed two passengers. This all happened shortly before 3 this morning in Miami Gardens. CBS News Miami Steve Majuri shows us what witnesses heard and saw.
I was just coming from the store. I heard 6 shots, but I do not like the violence that's going on in my neighborhood.
Miami Gardens police say that's where a Miami-Dade County bus driver shot 2 male passengers over a disturbance around 3 in the morning. Police say the bus wasn't moving when this happened.
Police have now advising that there are 2 people that were shot on the bus. We're going to start U.S. second rescue.
That's the craziest thing I could ever heard of.
Police say the 2 male passengers were taken to a hospital and later died. Police say that bus driver was not shot at, and now we're told investigators have detained the driver. Police are still looking into why those passengers were shot. Police say the driver was heading on a routine route and say this is an isolated incident.
I don't think the community needs to be frightened. This was a disturbance that took place between the driver and the victim. At this time, we don't have the full information to say that our community or any passengers need to be frightened of taking a bus.
We reached out to Miami-Dade County's Transportation Department. A spokesperson told us the county is fully cooperating with law enforcement and referred us to police for any other questions. The shooting remains under investigation.
Real talk, I believe that is indeed a first. I don't know, I could be wrong. Let me know below if you done heard some ish like this before. A driver shooting 2 passengers. Absolutely just what? How the fuck did that happen? I known a couple people who were bus drivers, both retired from it, did it for years, and I've spoke with them, like people I know pretty well. One's actually family and one's just a friend. And for real, I don't think that I could do that job. Driving is nothing but dealing with all the wild-ish people trying to get on, not pay, all the crazy-ass motherfuckers. I couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just too much. Let me know out there, any bus drivers. If you got any crazy stories, leave it below in the comments. Don't forget to hit all the buttons and all that. So sub up to the channel for more crime and true crime news. But the one dude was telling me that he was like, hey, they told me anyone who gets on, you just tell them this is the price. They don't pay it. Like, you can call ahead to the transit police and have them picked up at the next stop if you want. And he basically just said as long as the individuals weren't tripping and flipping, he pretty much let them ride. You know, you don't want to hold up the bus, wants to make his time. But I don't know, it just has to be a tough job. But tough job or not, leave it to this Florida bus driver, Miami Gardens, Miami-Dade, shooting these 2 passengers. And I think he's going to face charges. Currently, the updates are just that he's detained, no charges yet, but it's a bus full of victims. I'm pretty sure there probably is some surveillance video as well. I'm not 100%, but all the people on the bus are witnesses, and reportedly police are questioning them all one at a time. And again, I just think this guy is going to go away. And even if somehow he doesn't get charged, he's definitely losing his job, because even though Florida, we know, is a stand your ground state or whatever, which that law is pretty crazy. Being someone like, I'm from New York State originally, and the self-defense laws there are totally different. You can only use equal force to what someone brings to you. You know what I mean? In Florida, in some instances, someone could punch you in the face and you could just shoot them and, oh, I'm standing my ground. You know what I mean? It leaves for people to often get weapons and look to start-ish, be popping off at the mouth, looking for an issue to then pull their gun out. Personally, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not advocating for people to not be able to bear arms and defend themselves, but I'm just saying that I've personally seen that happen a lot. But regardless, the transit company, the bus company is saying, listen, the drivers are not allowed to arm themselves. Like, this may be an open carry state. That's the law of the land. But when you're driving for us, you are not allowed to be armed. You are not allowed to use a weapon as a self-defense tool. And, so even if he don't face a case, he's going to be hitting the unemployment line. But again, I believe this dude's going down. He did call 911. Some kind of a violent dispute was reported and all that. But I'm just personally not seeing any circumstance that he's going to walk away from this without facing a case. But then again, it's Florida. You know what I mean? It's like it could be George Zimmerman driving a freaking bus. Ooh, this is a George Zimmerman of bus drivers. I don't know how the fuck that guy got off. That was some straight up bullish. Him flucking around trying to be a overzealous neighborhood watch guy, harassing and stalking some kid until an issue jumps off and then fatally shooting him. It's just flucked up and ain't right. But back to talking about the bus, there's a little bit of an update.
Excuse me, so it's unclear if that driver will face any charges as a result of this, but literally just moments ago, we spoke with a passenger who was on the bus when all of it happens. According to that passenger, he says that the dispute started when the driver refused to let a man board with what he perceived to be a stolen bike. Things at some point escalated. Some threats were made against that driver, and that driver pulled out a gun and fired 6 shots, hitting the guy who tried to board the bus with that stolen bike, alleged stolen bike, according to that passenger. But the second person, according to this passenger, who was hit by bullets was just an innocent bystander sitting in his seat when all of this happened. Certainly a lot of more questions into this situation. And of course, detectives are certainly looking into every aspect of it all.
So you heard that, man. Apparently, one of the bus individuals entering the bus tried to get on with a stolen bike, which I don't know how the fuck the bus driver would know if the bike was stolen or not. But what in the world did the individual do that caused him to shoot him, throw the bike at him? I don't know. It's so tricky with the stand your ground laws and everything like that. And I mean, the fact that the bus doesn't allow the drivers to pack heat and carry a weapon shouldn't affect how the way the law looks at it as far as criminal charges go. But I don't know. I'm just not understanding how in the fuck someone having a stolen bike and you telling them they can't get on calls for shooting them. And then on top of it, if this is indeed 100% correct, what this news broadcaster got from a witness on the scene, that means the other person who died was just a bystander who took some strays. That's absolutely horrible, man. 2 people dead because of this bike driver tripping about a stolen bike. I don't know about this, man. Once again, jump in the comments and let me know your thoughts. If you've drove a bus before, if you rode the bus and seen some crazy things, have you ever heard of a bus driver shooting passengers on the bus before, and what you think in regards to this case? I mean, what's the only way that the guy would walk? If someone came at him with a knife or something like that? I don't know. You know what I mean? He called in a violent dispute. But what exactly does that mean? And regardless, even if they looked at that as him defending himself, what about the innocent bystander who took a stray shot and also died? It's crazy. So sub up, stay tuned for updates. I'm gone.